Boeing's 797 just leaked specifications that have pilots stunned worldwide. Former CEO Phil Condit is practically begging the company to fast-track this $25 billion project. But here's what's really got the aviation world buzzing. The reason pilots are shocked isn't the performance numbers, it's what Boeing learned from their catastrophic 737 MAX mistakes. Stay with us as we unleash the truth behind this disaster. But before moving forward, subscribe to our channel to never miss an update about aviation world. Think Boeing's playing catch-up with Airbus? Think again. The 797, or as insiders call it, the new mid-market airplane, isn't just another aircraft. It's Boeing's nuclear option in a market war they're desperately trying to win. Former CEO Phil Condit practically begged the company to fast-track this beast, telling the Wall Street Journal that Boeing needs to get people excited about what they're doing. Translation? Their current lineup is so underwhelming that even their own executives are embarrassed. Boeing's situation is frankly pathetic right now. Once the undisputed king of aviation, they've been reduced to watching Airbus dominate while they scramble to fix their reputation after the 737 MAX disasters. The 787 Dreamliner? Sure, it's decent for long haul, but there's a massive gap in their lineup that's bleeding money faster than a punctured fuel tank. Airlines are screaming for something between their narrow-body workhorses and wide-body giants, and Boeing has been sitting there twiddling their thumbs. But here's the part that'll make your jaw drop. Boeing's internal projections suggest the 797 could generate over 4,000 unit sales, representing roughly $400 billion in potential revenue. That's not just aircraft sales. That's an entire economy built around one airplane model. Airbus executives are reportedly panicking because they know their A321XLR, despite its current success, simply cannot match these projected capabilities. The 797 isn't just about filling a market gap, it's about creating a monopoly in the most profitable aviation segment. What I'm about to tell you next will make you question everything you know about aircraft economics. Enter the 797. Boeing's attempt to create the perfect Goldilocks aircraft. Not too big, not too small, but just right for that sweet spot airlines have been craving. Initial reports suggest two variants, a standard version seating 220 to 225 passengers, and a stretch variant accommodating nearly 275 souls. Compare that to Airbus's A321XLR maxing out at 220 seats. And suddenly Boeing's strategy becomes crystal clear. They're not just matching the competition, they're annihilating it. Range? The 797 is expected to fly 4,500 to 5,000 nautical miles, potentially outreaching the XLR's 4,700-mile capability. Airlines could operate transatlantic routes without stepping up to wide-body economics, and longer domestic hops without sacrificing passenger comfort. It's the aviation equivalent of having your cake and eating it too, assuming Boeing doesn't screw this up like they did with the MAX. But wait until you hear about the engine selection drama that's got manufacturers in a feeding frenzy. Boeing's playing hardball with engine suppliers, and the competition is absolutely brutal. General Electric, CFM International, Pratt & Whitney, and Rolls-Royce are all throwing everything they've got at securing this contract. The winning engine needs to deliver around 20 tons of thrust with a bypass ratio of 10 to 1 and an overall pressure ratio hitting 50 to 1, numbers that sound more like rocket science than commercial aviation. Whoever lands this deal doesn't just get a contract, they get to define the next generation of aircraft propulsion. The fuel efficiency requirements are insane. Airlines are demanding engines that not only sip fuel like a Prius, but also play nice with sustainable aviation fuels, and potentially even hydrogen. It's like asking for a sports car that runs on water. Technically possible, but mind-bendingly complex to execute. Here's where things get really interesting. Boeing learned from their catastrophic 737 MAX mistakes. Specifically, the landing gear height debacle that forced them into the MCAS nightmare. The 797's landing gear is being designed significantly taller than previous generations, ensuring compatibility with larger, more powerful engines without requiring sketchy software band-aids. It's almost like they're admitting their previous approach was fundamentally flawed, which, let's be honest, it absolutely was. The carbon fiber composite construction mirrors the 787 Dreamliner's approach, but with refinements that could make passengers actually enjoy flying again. Lower cabin pressure and higher humidity levels mean arriving at your destination without feeling like you've been mummified. For airlines, it means happier passengers and potentially higher ticket prices for premium comfort. Now here's something that'll blow your mind about the timeline, and most aviation enthusiasts have no clue about this. This project has been a roller coaster of epic proportions. Boeing first teased the 797 concept in the mid-2000s, then officially paused development in 2020. A year later, they restarted with a shortened timeline, estimating a $25 billion investment. By June 2022, frozen again. The reasons read like a corporate disaster playbook: inadequate engine technology, resource constraints, and this is the big one: nobody trusts Boeing anymore. The irony is delicious. Boeing's reputation crisis, largely self-inflicted through the MAX debacle, is now hampering their ability to launch the very aircraft that could restore their credibility. It's like watching someone try to dig themselves out of a hole while simultaneously making it deeper. Airlines desperately need this aircraft category. The Asia-Pacific and Middle East markets are exploding with new routes that don't justify wide-body economics, but exceed narrow-body capabilities. Boeing knows this sweet spot exists. They're just terrified of betting another $25 billion on their ability to execute properly. You won't believe what Airbus is doing while Boeing dithers around with development delays. The A321XLR isn't just competing with the 797. It's already stealing potential customers, while Boeing's still drawing blueprints. Airbus delivered a functional, certified aircraft that's racking up orders faster than Boeing can make excuses. American Airlines, United, Indigo, AirAsia. They're not waiting for Boeing's promises when Airbus has a proven solution sitting on the tarmac. This timing disadvantage is crushing Boeing's market position. Every month of delay hands more leverage to Airbus, and in aviation, switching aircraft types isn't like changing your phone carrier. It's a decade-long commitment involving pilot training, maintenance infrastructure, and spare parts inventory. Boeing's also facing unexpected competition from Embraer, traditionally focused on regional jets, but potentially eyeing the mid-market segment with aggressive pricing and newer technology. When even the third-place player starts looking threatening, you know you're in trouble. If you're finding this analysis as fascinating as I am, smash that subscribe button. Because the aviation industry's power dynamics are shifting faster than most people realize, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Supply chain nightmares represent another massive headache Boeing can't ignore. The aviation industry's recent part shortages and shipping delays have exposed how fragile these manufacturing networks really are. Boeing needs suppliers who can deliver components on schedule without quality compromises, a tall order considering their trust deficit with partners. Component sourcing becomes even more critical when you're pioneering new materials and manufacturing techniques. The 797's advanced composite construction requires suppliers who can maintain aerospace-grade quality while scaling production to meet potential demand for thousands of aircraft. One supplier hiccup could delay the entire program by years. Boeing's also wrestling with increasingly stringent environmental regulations that didn't exist when they designed their current fleet. The 797 needs to meet emission standards that are essentially moving targets, as governments worldwide ratchet up pressure on aviation's environmental impact. Here's the harsh reality that Boeing executives probably lose sleep over. The 797 represents Boeing's last realistic shot at preventing Airbus from achieving permanent market dominance. If this aircraft fails, whether through technical problems, certification delays, or market rejection, Boeing might never recover their position as aviation's leading manufacturer. The stakes couldn't be higher. Airbus isn't standing still either. They're undoubtedly developing responses to the 797's potential capabilities, possibly including XLR variants or entirely new aircraft concepts. Boeing's lengthy development timeline gives competitors ample opportunity to counterpunch with superior solutions. Market analysts project the mid-range aircraft segment could generate over 4,000 unit sales, representing hundreds of billions in potential revenue. Whoever dominates this category doesn't just win market share. They shape aviation's future for the next 3 decades. Boeing's betting their entire commercial aviation future on the 797's success. The alternative, permanent second-place status behind Airbus, is unthinkable for a company that once defined American aerospace supremacy. Former Boeing executives privately admit the company's survival as a major commercial aircraft manufacturer depends on the 797's market acceptance. Technical specifications aside, the 797's real challenge is rebuilding trust with airlines who've been burned by Boeing's recent quality issues. Pilots need confidence in the aircraft's systems, maintenance crews need reliable support, and passengers need assurance they're flying on genuinely safe equipment. The psychological impact of the 737 MAX crashes still haunts Boeing's reputation. Airlines ordering the 797 aren't just buying an aircraft. They're betting their passengers will trust Boeing enough to fill those seats. That's a heavy burden for any new aircraft program, regardless of technical capabilities. Boeing's engineers are undoubtedly capable of building an exceptional aircraft. The real question is whether the company's leadership can execute a flawless development and certification process without the corner cutting that plagued previous programs. The 797's success story hasn't been written yet, but the first chapters suggest Boeing finally understands what's at stake. Whether they can deliver on their promises remains aviation's most expensive question mark. Airlines are watching, competitors are preparing, and Boeing's future hangs in the balance of getting this aircraft absolutely right. Can Boeing actually pull off this ambitious comeback? Or are they destined to play second fiddle to Airbus forever? Drop your predictions in the comments and subscribe for more aviation updates.